A shooting in Dallas has left devastation in its wake.
Fort Worth ISD is making a stand against state authority.
And the holidays are coming up and travel is going to be hard. We'll tell you everything you need to know.
Broadcasting live from the University of North Texas, this is NTTV News at Noon.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining NTTV News at Noon. I'm Faith Webster.
And I'm Riley Oldenburg.
Dallas police are still investigating a shooting at a Walmart on the northeast side of Dallas. 2 people were injured and the gunman died of a self-inflicted wound at the scene. The women were taken to a local hospital from the Walmart on Forest Lane near Abrams. The name of the victims have still not been released. It is still unclear as to what the shooter's motives were. We will have more details as they come, as information is released.
The Fort Worth school system is saying no to the state and taking a stand to keep control of their schools. This week, the school board voted 7-1 to challenge the Texas Department of Education and their takeover of the Fort Worth ISD. The school board says their action forces a deeper review of the facts as to why the state moved to take control of the district. According to the board president, their priority is the students and improving their outcomes. The state said they acted because of 5 consecutive failing grades at one school, but said there were widespread problems across the district. These changes are largely based on the state STAR tests. The Fort Worth appeal now goes through a cycle of hearings with a final and binding decision in 30 days. There are 67,000 students in Fort Worth ISD that are affected by this development.
And another major development challenging Texas political control over state schools, the issue of the 10 Commandments in public schools. Governor Greg Abbott signed the law back in June, but a group of families sued claiming the law violates the First Amendment of the Constitution that says the government cannot establish an official religion. Late yesterday, a second federal judge blocked the state law and ordered plaques removed in 14 districts. The order is temporary, and a similar case is also pending in Louisiana. A federal appeal court will consider both cases early next year. Meanwhile, the American Civil Liberties Union praised the judge's order and called it a win for religious freedom. In Texas, 14 districts are affected by this decision. Here in North Texas, they include Fort Worth, Arlington, McKinney, Northwest, Rockwall, and Mansfield. While all this playing out yesterday, Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton filed lawsuits against 2 other school districts which have not yet posted the commandments.
And still, one more legal battle involving Texas is about to begin. Governor Greg Abbott says the state is going straight to the Supreme Court to overturn yesterday's court ruling against the new congressional voting maps. The Texas legislature drew them up over the summer with the goal of creating 5 new Republican-controlled districts. A 3-judge panel ruled against the state yesterday. Texas Democrats had called it a rigged map based on racial discrimination. The state is expected to ask the U.S. Supreme Court to temporarily pause the ruling, which would allow Texas to use the more recent map while the appeal plays out. It's not clear how quickly the Supreme Court will act on the case, but candidates have to register here by early next month.
We know North Texas is a metroplex full of commuters.
And unfortunately, the roads are about to get even more congested right in time for the holidays.
The Texas Department of Transportation recently announced multiple upcoming closures on I-35 East. All northbound and southbound lanes between Bonnie Brae and Oak Street will be closed overnight Thursday to 5 a.m. on Friday. Southbound will be closed again 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. Friday to Saturday, as well as the northbound reduced to 1 lane.
2 other major ramp shutdowns could cause delays in Dallas and Collin counties. While the disruptions occurred during late-night hours, the affected ramps connect some of the busiest corridors in the region, meaning drivers should plan ahead, especially if traveling late at night or before sunrise. If this last semester your bus has been stopping at the Highland Street Garage or Hickory Hall, it will be moving back to the Union. After major construction and changes to routines, DCTA stops are moving back to Union Circle on December 15th. Union Circle has been closed for the past couple of months to create a better flow of traffic and create a safer route for riders and pedestrians. This includes every line except AC 101 and PEA. This is just in time for winter break. Most lines will stop running December 15th for holiday season. However, DCTA will be operating 2 university routes, DP 141 and EP 131, from December 15th through January 11th. And a heads up to be mindful of DCTA routes will not run on December 25th and January 1st, so make sure to plan ahead for your transportation needs. I know I've asked for cold weather all month, but I hate that rain and gloomy weather are what bring that.
Oh, I know, trust me, this weather is just bringing me down.
Knowing Texas, the temps won't even drop for more than 2 days. Our weather anchor, Hannah Perez, is the only one with the answers. Hannah?
Thank you, guys. That's true for now. It is 68 degrees over here in Denton, and then later tonight it is going to drop down to 63. Not too much. And then heading tomorrow, of course, we're going to rise back up to some of that mid-70 degree weather that we're kind of used to. But, you know, honestly, that might change heading into Thanksgiving break. I'll have more on that with the 7-day forecast, so stay tuned. And back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Hannah. After announcing on social media, President Donald Trump admits to signing the bill directed to the Department of Justice for the public release of Jeffrey Epstein-related files. CNN's Eli Honing reports.
President Trump just signed the law requiring DOJ to release the Epstein files. Now, first of all of this is unusual. Ordinarily, DOJ would never release its closed criminal files. However, Congress has passed the law and DOJ now must comply. Now, this triggers the 30-day window that DOJ has to make this production. A couple things to watch for. First of all, the law requires DOJ to redact out any information relating to the victims or their identities. Of course, that's to protect the victims' confidentiality. And the law allows DOJ to withhold information relating to ongoing criminal investigations. So that's going to be up to the Attorney General, the FBI Director, what information relates to an ongoing case, therefore they can withhold it, and what information do they want to put out. So we should expect to see most, but probably not all, of the Epstein files in the coming days and weeks.
The Borough of Labor head was fired in late August due to dismal summer jobs data. As the government begins to reopen, 2 months of data are missing due to the shutdown. Amy Kiley reports the information that will affect your wallet.
This is going to be really key.
Economic reports coming out today could influence the Federal Reserve's next rate decision. They contain data on home sales, mortgage rates, and the belated September jobs numbers. That last one is crucial to the Fed's dual mandate. It's charged with maximizing employment while controlling inflation.
As this chart shows, we've seen just this dramatic slowdown in job growth in the U.S. economy.
The Fed uses economic data to decide what to do with interest rates, but it's missing information due to the government shutdown.
This report is going to go a long way into shaping all of those concerns about the U.S. economy and questions about what the Federal Reserve is going to do next.
It seems even before this new data, some Fed officials were leaning toward holding rates steady next month. That's according to newly released minutes from their October meeting. Rates already are down after 2 cuts earlier this year. Now futures show investors don't predict a third. That's despite President Donald Trump's attempt to pressure the Fed into slashing rates. That would lower the cost of borrowing money. But many economists say his tariffs are inflationary. They warn cutting rates too soon could raise prices for Americans.
We have inflation. Do you want to be cutting rates into a record housing and asset environment?
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
The inflation rates keep rising, and with the holidays coming around, many are starting to wonder about the affordability of living around this season.
The Social Security Administration scraps a prevention plan that would have cost thousands of Americans from receiving disability benefits. This policy would have changed the qualifications for multiple federal disability programs. This includes limiting or even elimination of a person's age as the qualifying feature. The SSA distributes to more than 70 million Americans. There is no immediate comment from the White House or the SSA. As the agency goes through drastic change with staffing cuts, customer complaints are imminent due to the impacted service. Recently devastated flood areas could be in another surprise today with oncoming storms.
This viral streamer is getting into some legal trouble after fighting the Rizbot. Stay with us.
Hey Alex, this guy on the internet says he wants to give me money.
That sounds suspicious.
What do you mean?
Typically, strangers who promise you money on the internet have their own best interest in mind. They often use bounced checks, which will disappear shortly after depositing, but not before they've asked for some money in return.
So he doesn't really want to spoil me?
No.
Well, then what should I do?
The best way to handle it is to block and report the suspicious message, or even consult local law enforcement if you've already fallen victim.
So I guess we aren't going to Key West for spring break.
No.
The second 31 days of Denton Halloween brought about 833,000 people to the square over the course of the month. According to Dustin Sternbeck, the city's chief spokesperson, Sternbeck said the city is still gathering data on where those visitors came from, but he said they came to Denton from at least 42 states. The city plans to continue to build Halloween festivities around two major events that happen in October: the Denton Arts Jazz Festival and Denton's Day of the Dead Festival. The festivities not only give Denton foot traffic, but also help support local businesses. Many downtown businesses had great sale numbers and saw an immediate increase in traffic starting in September.
Experts are forecasting the first $1 trillion holiday season. With the season fast approaching, the buyers may not be getting all the bang for that buck. Reporter Karen Kafa has the info.
Popular holiday gifts like toys, apparel, and electronics are among the most imported and most impacted by the Trump administration's tariffs.
The uncomfortable reality of it all is that the sort of things that we want this Christmas, or in past Christmases, is stuff that is no longer produced in the United States.
Russell Hawley, director of shopping content for CNET, says some tech and toy manufacturers have made changes to trim their costs.
There have been a number of manufacturers that have made it clear that they're going to, in order to adjust to tariffs, do things like remove batteries. So the batteries would need to be a separate purchase. The packaging may be different.
Purchasing items brought in before tariffs took effect may help consumers save, but Hawley says do some research, especially with tech, to make sure it's worth it.
We've seen quite an increase in people shopping, refurbished versions of models of things that they are interested in order to get that, kind of extra savings. My biggest recommendation to anybody going that route is to just read the fine details.
David Bieri, associate professor of economics at Virginia Tech, says online shoppers who find big deals need to note where the item ships from.
If you're doing direct imports or have FedEx or DHL or UPS or even the US Postal Service act as your importer, you will have to carry the cost.
The de minimis rule had long kept low-value packages entering the U.S. tariff-free. That exemption ended in August.
And with the Supreme Court not ruling on the tariffs till at least next year, consumers this season will have to look elsewhere for some cost-cutting magic.
Millions of Americans are expected to travel next week for Thanksgiving. Airports are bracing for big crowds, and drivers are being warned to expect even more traffic this year. Jen Sullivan explains what travelers can expect in the skies and the worst time to hit the road next week.
Air travel is beginning to return to normal just in time for the busy Thanksgiving travel week. A welcome relief for many passengers whose travel plans were uprooted by delays and cancellations during the government shutdown.
Thank goodness it happened before the holidays because we all deserve good getaways.
As the government shutdown dragged on, the FAA reduced air traffic by 4% at 40 major airports across the country. It caused mass flight delays and cancellations. But transportation authorities gave airlines the green light to resume normal operations Monday, and the disruptions from the government shutdown appear to be over.
I think we're going to have a smooth, hopefully, Thanksgiving travel.
But travelers should still brace for long lines at airports and plenty of cars on the roads. AAA is projecting nearly 82 million people will travel 50 miles or more between Tuesday, November 25th and Monday, December 1st. That's a new record. At least 73 million of those travelers are expected to drive.
We're going to have more traffic and more congestion on the roads.
AAA spokesperson Aixa Diaz says those numbers could be even higher if people decide to drive instead of fly because they're worried about flight disruptions.
A lot of people are going to make that call, though, at the last minute.
If you are driving, AAA says the worst times to travel are Tuesday between noon and 9 p.m. and Wednesday between 11 a.m. and 8 p.m. The worst time to return home is Sunday between 11 a.m. and 8 p.m. Here's the good news for drivers. The national average for a gallon of regular gas is around $3.11 as of Wednesday, according to GasBuddy.com. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
I am so excited for Thanksgiving. It's one of my favorite holidays.
Let me tell you, green beans, mashed potatoes, cranberry sauce, I'm about to gobble it all up.
Well, hopefully the mashed potatoes are the only thing being drizzled on this Thanksgiving. Let's see the latest with Hannah Perez. Hannah?
Thank you, guys. That's not quite the case as of right now. As storms crawl across the south, a flood threat is being issued in the same areas of Texas Hill Country devastated by the July floods we saw earlier this year, where more than 100 people died. A level 3 risk of flooding rainfall is in place today for nearly 100,000 residents. Although not as dire as July, more than 5 inches of rain could fall in some locations. The rest of central and northern Texas, including Dallas-Fort Worth, could also see localized flooding on Thursday with a second wave of downpour on Sunday. So make sure you keep an eye on the weather this weekend and be safe. Now for the local weather. Across North Texas, you'll see in Denton we're at 68 like I mentioned earlier, and that's the same in Gainesville and Graham right over there. And then we're going to see temperatures as low as 67 over in Bowie and Decatur, and Dallas and Fort Worth at 70. When we pull out a little bit more, you'll see temperatures drop as low as 54 as it is in Amarillo, and then as high as 80 over in Shreveport and Houston, with Austin at 79. Heading into the next 7 days, you'll see the temperatures drop heading into this weekend. We see 69 on Saturday with some storms coming in on Sunday and Monday. Temperatures are going to continue to drop throughout towards Thanksgiving. On Thursday, we'll see our lowest temperatures of that week at 59. Not too bad for Thanksgiving, I would say. Just make sure you wear a nice little turtleneck sweater and then save a piece of pie for me or something. But that's all I have for you as of right now. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Hannah. A famous streamer, Darren Jason Watkins Jr., also known as I Show Speed or Speed, is being sued for allegedly damaging a robot during his brief trip to Central Texas. He is being accused of intentionally harming Rizbot, a viral cowboy robot featured on a live-streamed episode. Rizbot developer Social Robotics, LLC, filed a lawsuit against Watkins in a Travis County court on Monday, November 17th. The company is now seeking $1 million in monetary relief from Watkins.
The CMA Awards happened yesterday. We'll give you the roundup.
And find out about the Dallas halftime performer after the break.
There's no harm in wanting to have fun while in college, but it's easy to lose track of how much you've had. Apps like Drink Control and Alkadroid can help keep track of your consumption and blood alcohol levels. If you or someone else does drink too much, the signs of alcohol poisoning are as follows: pale skin, vomiting, confusion, low body temperatures, irregular breathing, blacking out, and is hard to wake up or cannot be woken up.
Dude, are you okay? Hey, what's wrong? Wake up.
It's an exciting time of year, but it's important to be responsible. If you suspect someone is suffering from alcohol poisoning, get help immediately. You will not get in trouble for seeking help if you are underage. For more info and resources, go to UNT's Division of Student Affairs.
The CMA Awards were last night, and some of the biggest names in country made their marks. Lainey Wilson won Entertainer of the Year, Album of the Year, and Female Vocalist of the Year. She is the third woman to win Entertainer of the Year twice, following the Keeping Good Company with Barbara Mandrell and Taylor Swift. Cody Johnson won Male Vocalist of the Year. He released Leather Deluxe Edition. And Brooks and Dunn made their return for their 20th CMA Award, making them the most awarded artists for the Country Music Awards. I wonder who's going to win next year.
If you're on campus this afternoon, a new art gallery has been installed at Paul Vortman's Gallery in the UNT Art Building on 1202 West Mulberry Street. The joint installation consists of work from students Grace Boger, Emily Albutron, Robin Roselle, Nora Jones, Haiti Hadelman, and Shelby Lancaster. The opening reception will be tonight at 6 p.m. If you don't have time to see it today, don't worry. Horse Squirrel will be up until Friday, December 15th.
Why don't turkeys ever get picked for the football team?
No idea, Faith.
Because they always chicken out at the end.
Well, I'm hoping our football team doesn't chicken out on those Thanksgiving games. Our sports anchor, Luke Nelson, has the scoop. Luke?
This Monday, the NFL announced the Red Kettle Kickoff, Thanksgiving game halftime performers. The performers for the Lions and Packers will be Jack White, and the performer for the Ravens and Bengals will be Lil Jon. And the performer for the Cowboys and the Chiefs will be Post Malone. The Dallas Cowboys game will be on Thanksgiving at 4:30 p.m. This is now the 29th year of the Red Kettle Kickoff tradition, Cowboys tradition, one of the largest long-running annual fundraisers. The Dallas Stars game tonight, a look in the Mavericks game last night, and learn more about UNT's climbing club. All of that right after this break.
Are you tired of seeing the same old city? You want to learn something and go overseas? Then study abroad with one of many UNT Study Abroad programs. You can find the Study Abroad office right here at Markey Hall, room 145.
My study abroad program left on me a great impression. We have a lot of different programs and it varies. We have faculty-led, affiliate, and exchange programs. When you're ready to leave for your study abroad program from UNT, you're going to go through pre-departure orientation and modules so that you are prepared.
The power to turn the world into your classroom is right here at UNT with our study abroad programs. Take flight and take in charge of your education.
The Dallas Stars will be going against the Vancouver Canucks. Tonight, this is the second time they have faced each other this season. The Canucks won their last match against the Stars, but they may be able to clinch a win. The Stars are currently ranked second in the Central Division, while the Canucks are the 7th in the Pacific Division. So on a pretty good run this season, so it will be very interesting to see what happens. The Dallas Mavericks went against the New York Knicks last night. Jalen Brunson scored a surprising high of 35 points and scored a free throw with only 3.8 seconds remaining, winning the Knicks the game. With this loss, the chances of the Mavs making it to the playoffs seem impossible. The Mavs are now 4-2 with seemingly no hope for a comeback. There are a lot of ways to be active on UNT campus. One of them is the Rec Sports Center and their climbing club.
The Rec Sports Center is a really great way to meet lots of interesting people and clubs, one of them being the climbing club. The climbing club offers a great chance for a lot of diversity for a lot of students who have experience with climbing and also some with none. With club leaders Caden and Lucas give you more info on this story.
So my first whole year of being at UNT, I was over at Victory, so kind of far, and I didn't socialize that much. I just went to class, came back, and played video games. And then the next year I was like, I should probably make some more friends and be more social. So I was forcing myself to talk to people. And I was coming to the rec to work out. And so there were people at the wall, so I went over and talked to them. And the more people I got to meet, the more I enjoyed talking to them.
So when I first got here to UNT, I was a pretty shy kid. I stayed in my room and played video games mostly, and then I went to class, and that was it.
The climbing club offers a lot of good opportunities and to make new friends as well as make some unforgettable memories.
Have you ever seen a cat with a helmet?
Can't say I have.
Well, you're in luck. CNN's Abby Knight has more.
From a distance, the cat named Noggin looks like a superhero. Her headgear does make her pretty special, though. Noggin has a custom helmet to protect her skull while she's recovering from a skull fracture. James Tuggy is a Chattanooga State student who helped with the design along with his instructor.
Come to me and said, hey, look, this thing would be kind of complicated if we tried to make it out of aluminum or something like that. Why don't we try 3D printing it? And so I went through and found somebody else who had done a helmet.
After a trial run, the second version of the helmet stuck. The helmet is supposed to help as she adjusts to her environment at McCamey Animal Center.
Noggin is actually blind, so she can't really tell a lot about her environment. Her whiskers are helpful when she gets up close, but she can still run into things and bump things, which could impact her skulls.
Tuggy says designing the helmet came easy, but getting the measurements was tricky business.
For a small kitten, she has very large ears, and so the getting the ear ratio just right was kind of tricky. But
And although Noggin has battled surgery and a skull fracture, she is still a playful little kitten.
and she wanted to play with the toy, or play with the measurements as if it was a toy. And she was very in good spirits, and she was a lot of fun. Typical kitten.
That is the cutest cat I think I've ever seen.
I know, right?
Thanks for watching NTTV News at Noon.
Join us again tonight at 6 and tomorrow at noon here on North Texas Television.